Ooh, better make sure that doesn't go in the highlight reel. What's up, everybody? Today I want to talk about Call of Duty World at War, released in 2008 for the PS3, Wii, PC, and Xbox 360. Now we have to ask, what exactly is Call of Duty World at War? Essentially, we are looking at a World War II first-person shooter featuring the American Marines in a Pacific campaign hopping from island to island in combination with the Soviet campaign, mainly taking place towards the end of the war. Let's talk about the gameplay. With this being a Call of Duty game, there are not a lot of changes when it comes to the game mechanics. Like the other games, you can only take so much damage with blood red vision before you succumb to your wounds, or you'll regenerate your health like my liver on Sunday morning. When it comes to difficulty, the game is typically pretty fair. If you run into no man's land during a firefight, you will definitely die. Having beaten this game on veteran, I can assure you I am very familiar with how much of a dick this game can be. It is ludicrous the amount of grenades the game will throw at you. Sometimes it's 4 to 5 at a single time. The main mechanic when playing the game on veteran is running to a certain point in the level just to get a checkpoint so your allies can advance. However, you're probably going to die every 30 seconds trying to accomplish this. I'm sad to admit it, but even on normal difficulty this happened a few times to me. I hate the difficulty, but boy do I love those levels. The variety of environments is a big feature in World at War. The Marine missions feature jungle warfare, invading an airfield, raiding a fortified cave, capturing a castle on Osaka, a beach landing on Peleliu, and taking on the role as a gunner on a flying boat. The Soviet missions involved the defense of Stalingrad, operating a T-34 tank, the conquest of Berlin, and finally the capture of the Reichstag. I have to admit, I'm a big fan of the loading screens in World at War. They're very stylish, and they also build on the world you're about to jump into. When I compare the game to Call of Duty 3, I feel that the game feels faster. However, it's more difficult in turn, which makes things way more fun. The game also gives off a great sense of polish. However, I had one weird glitch on the level where you capture the airfield. An in-game sequence where the sergeant announces an incoming attack wouldn't trigger. I reloaded, I killed myself, tried everything I could, but it wouldn't work. I went searching for the sergeant and discovered something was strange.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
Other than that, overall the game just feels fun. It has a lot to do with the IW engine versus the COD 3 NGL engine. It's just a better product. Let's look at the weapons of Call of Duty World at War. First off, the ray gun on the beach landing level is a blast. Historical accuracy at its finest. Starting off, we have 5 handguns. There's the Nambu, the M1911, the Tokarev, the Walther, and finally, the 357 Magnum. After that, we have 4 submachine guns. There's the Type 100, the Thompson, the MP40, and the Papasha 41, where the gun fires so quickly, the sound begins to clip. They also give us 2 shotguns. There's the M1897 trench gun, which is amazing, and the double barrel shotgun, which is absolute garbage. Then of course we have 4 bolt-action rifles. They are the Kar 98K, Mosin Nagant, Arasaka, and M1903 Springfield. We also have 5 semi-automatic rifles. The first is the M1A1 carbine, the SVT-40, the M1 Garand, the Gewehr 43, and finally the PTRS, which is a beast. As with Call of Duty 3, we have 2 fully automatic rifles, the STG-44 and FG-42, and man, they still rock. And of course, with this being World War II, we have 4 machine guns. The first is the Browning automatic rifle, second is the Type 99, the third is the MG-42, and lastly, we have the Browning M1919. And of course, we have a couple oddballs to round things out. There is a throwable mortar, which is freaking amazing. There's a Panzerschreck, which is good old fun. There's a flamethrower, which is stupid powerful. There's the Type 92 mounted machine gun. Then there's the 25 AA gun, which is a nice surprise. They also have the T-34 tank, which I thought was well done. Way better than the COD 3 level. Nice job, Treyarch. They also have a flying boat, which is really cool and immersive. I love when the character switches from gun to gun, you travel through the plane. Looked really cool. My only big complaint with the weapons is the lack of ammo compatibility. It's the same problem that COD 3 had, where if I walk over a BAR that uses 30-06, while I'm carrying an M1 Garand, which also uses 30-06, I don't pick up the ammo. Maybe I'm being a bit nitpicky. Now, for enemies in World at War, we have the Japanese, which includes traditional soldiers, snipers hiding in trees, the one machine gunner that I couldn't kill because the game was being a dick, the Bonsai Boys, and there was this one dude I nicknamed Honey Badger, because Honey Badger don't give a fuck. Now, on the German side of the war, we have traditional soldiers, Panzer IV tanks, exploding trucks, falling pillars, and a general sense of disgust due to murdering prisoners of war. Anywho, let's talk about the plot. Please be aware, there are spoilers ahead. The plot in Call of Duty World at War features 5 Americans in the Pacific Campaign. There is Private Miller, who is typically the player, Private Polonsky, Corporal Roebuck, Sergeant Tom Sullivan, and Petty Officer Locke. At the start of the American campaign, we find ourselves on Macon Island, where Private Miller is found to be a captive of the Japanese Imperial Army. Luckily, right before we have our throats slit, Corporal Roebuck saves us. As we exit the shed, Sergeant Sullivan hands us a pistol, and we proceed to tear up the Japanese base. After a daring escape, the game skips 2 years into the future to the Battle of Peleliu. The Americans landing on Peleliu Island is met with fierce resistance. After destroying 2 Type 97 tanks, Sergeant Sullivan is fatally stabbed. Roebuck is then promoted to the rank of sergeant. The battle then continues with the Americans capturing the main airfield. Once the airfield is cleared, the American forces push deeper into the mainland of the island, where they clear out an artillery-filled point and bring the battle to a close. After this, the American campaign then shifts focus to the Battle of Okinawa. Before the main battle can take place, the Americans must disrupt the Japanese supply chains which feed the island. We get to take on the role of Petty Officer Locke in a PBY Catalina flying boat, where we destroy 3 merchant ships and aid the fleet during a major Japanese air raid. After we complete the mission with Petty Officer Locke, we then commence with the Battle of Okinawa. Miller's squad winds up cleaning machine gun bunkers, killing artillery squads, and then capturing Shuri Castle. As the Americans capture the castle, we are faced with a choice. We either need to save Polonsky or Roebuck. In my playthrough, I chose to save Roebuck, because let's face it, Polonsky basically has the character of a wooden board. Anyway, we bomb the castle back into the Stone Age, and the American campaign comes to a close. Now, for the Soviet campaign, the game focuses on 3 characters. There's ourselves, Dmitry Petrenko, our sergeant, Viktor Reznov, and his right-hand man, Private Chernov. At the opening of the Soviet campaign, we find ourselves in a one-off mission in the defense of Stalingrad, where Dmitry is introduced to Reznov in a situation which pretty much rips off Enemy at the Gates. Now, you might think I'm criticizing this, however, I really enjoyed it. Treyarch kills it on this level. The opening atmosphere, the use of bombers to mask your shots, no-scoping dog kills, and the assassination of a high-ranking German officer, this level had it all. Once we complete the opening mission in Stalingrad, the timeline jumps 3 years into the future to the Battle of Seelow Heights. We find that Dmitry has been captured by some German soldiers. Luckily, Reznov and Chernov managed to save him at the last moment. From this point forward, it's pretty much the Soviets steamrolling the Germans. The Soviets wipe out a German camp, pilot a T-34 tank, arrive at Berlin via train, clear building after building until they finally arrive at the Reichstag. I really have to commend Treyarch for showing how brutal the Eastern Front was. Every time we see German soldiers get captured, they're immediately killed. In the final moments of the game, we move to plant the USSR flag on the top of the Reichstag roof. However, Dmitry is shot mere feet from his goal. Luckily, Reznov steps in to save our hero. We plant the flag and bring the Soviet campaign to an end. Now, don't forget, there is a zombie mode. This mode is easily one of my favorite things about Call of Duty World at War. The basic concept involves you killing zombies. With each kill, you get some points. You can then use the points to unlock new areas or buy guns. And my goodness, you might think this only takes 20 to 30 minutes per game. No, it can go on for hours. It would be one thing if you were just killing zombies and they always had the same health, but as the round number increases, the health also increases. It's so good.
Anyone want some bad guts?
So, in summary, the game is well optimized, and the frame rate never drops. The plot is unique and fresh, and the vehicle segments were a lot of fun. On top of that, the enemies are a huge step up in intelligence from Call of Duty 3. My only real negative is that the difficulty can be steep at times, but other than that, I really enjoyed this game. I have to give it an A-, and I think everyone should give it a try. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate you all watching to the end of my video. And lastly, but most importantly, I hope you all have a great day. Oh man, that dude ruined the shot. Well, only one thing to do now.